Hello and welcome to the premiere edition of What's Up San Mateo. I'm James Hargrave.
And I'm Alexis Tuck. This show is produced entirely by students in College of San Mateo's Broadcast and Electronic Media program.
And I'm Becca Seligman. We have 3 great segments today.
Our first guest will tell me about the need to upgrade a local library.
Then I'll interview a local boxing hero who's trained future champions.
In our last segment, my guest and I discuss solutions to the growing feral cat population. All that is coming up on What's Up San Mateo?
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of What's Up San Mateo. This week we're talking about an outdated facility in the Half Moon Bay community. It's their library, and it desperately needs a facelift. Joining me today are 3 guests. Andy Malley is the Half Moon Bay Library branch manager. Hope Atmore and Julie Mell are co-presidents of the Half Moon Bay Library Group. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
So to start, Hope and Julie, let's start by having you tell me what the mission of the Friends of the Half Moon Bay Library is.
Well, the primary mission of the Friends is to fund the programs that the library offers. Reading programs, literacy programs, sometimes we bring in magicians, summer reading programs as well. But we also, at this point, because it's a new board, we're really trying to become a voice for the needs of the library and to try and spread the word to the community about how badly we need to increase the size of our library.
Annie, tell me how the Half Moon Bay Library serves the Coastside community now.
Sure. So the Half Moon Bay Library is the only library that serves Devil's Slide all the way down to the Santa Cruz border, and then from the ocean up to Skyline. So it's a lot of miles. It's about 270 miles, and we're the only library that serves the needs of the people in those communities. So whether it's informational or educational or their reading interests, this is the library that they'll go to. It's a really well-loved facility and a really wonderful community that comes and uses the library.
That's great. But what are some of the current obstacles to providing these services for the community?
So the library opened in 1971. At that time, the population was a little over 4,000, and there were 2 other libraries. There was a library in Pescadero and a library in El Granada. And so both of those libraries have since closed. So we're the only library that's about 7,000 square feet serving 29,000 people.
Yeah.
So it's definitely way too small for all of the needs that we have. So basically when a new book comes in, an old book needs to go away.
Yeah.
So we're constantly weeding the collection just to be able to put new books in. The other thing is just the space, that we don't have a community room. So every time we do programs, and we do a lot of programs, they're done in the library. So we do 5 story times a week. Everybody gets to hear story times during the week.
Even if you don't want to, you
Even
get
if
a
you
story.
don't want to, you are. We're right next to a middle school, so at 3:05 when the middle schools arrive, the students arrive, there's not enough tables, there's no quiet space. We do a lot of larger programs, and so often we'll have to borrow space from a local school to hold the program there. Just because of fire code, we can't keep the population or the number of people that attend these programs. And then there's lots of other things that we could offer that we just can't. We offer computer classes once a month, but we could offer computer classes often if we had a computer lab. It's really space is our big limitation.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Hope, how important is this library to the community?
I've lived in Half Moon Bay for the past 13 years, and my son is now 7.5, and from the time he was 6 months old, I was taking him to story times. And during story time, if you wanted to get to the actual children's collection, you would actually have to step over other children just to get there, and it's still that way. I mean, I take him in now, and he's big enough that he's stepping over toddlers in order to try and get to the books. I think that moms and dads and kids use that library all throughout school and all the way through to high school. I mean, you'll see every possible age there, all the way also through to the seniors who often might not appreciate how cute those little kids are when they're trying to quietly read and do something. So it's really, you're jamming a lot of people from a lot of different age groups into a very small space. And the librarians do an amazing job of making everyone as comfortable as possible, but it is just still an issue of space.
We sent our camera to the Half Moon Bay Library to check out the facility and see what's going on. So let's take a look.
Half Moon Bay is a beautiful place, but its public library is falling apart. Filled with outdated equipment and lacking adequate space for books and people. Even the parking lot is in disrepair. The problems are adding up, making it difficult for librarians and local residents. Half Moon Bay needs an updated public library to serve this beautiful place and its people.
Well, it certainly looks like the Half Moon Bay Library could definitely use some improvements after that report. Hope and Julie, what do you have planned for the future of the Half Moon Bay Library?
Well, if the library passes or gets on the ballot and passes, then we have an architecture firm that has already worked on or is working on improvements and renovations. And we hope for a new facility with larger rooms, larger spaces for more books, for more technology. We'd like to see a big community room come in. We currently just bought a cargo box that will sit behind the library to hold all the Friends books. And we have book sales periodically. Our big book sale is coming up this weekend, in fact. But
so everyone go to that, just so you all know.
but this cargo box will actually free up a lot of the space for the librarians and can be resold after the library's renovation. But we would love to see this library get on the ballot and pass to be renovated to serve the number of people up and down the San Mateo coast and county, within the coastal counties.
And so how can the community and the people of Half Moon Bay and just the Bay Area in general help the library in getting the new facility?
Well, the main focus for the Friends right now is to increase our membership. The more members we have, the more we can spread the word throughout the community. And then because of that, we can have the support we need in order to get this on the ballot in 2014 and to get a bond measure to pass. So I would encourage anyone and everyone to become a member of the Friends. And if you don't live in Half Moon Bay, become a member of the Friends of your library, because it's a really important group.
I will. I'm going to go become a member.
It's nice because we offer membership levels from $10 to $100. And with our new board presidents, we have installed a new system of membership levels where if you join at certain levels, you get certain rewards and gifts.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here today and sharing this information with us. And we really wish you the best of luck with your new library. And libraries are so important to the overall learning and growth of any community, and we hope to see the Half Moon Bay Library take the necessary steps to support their library community. And for more information or to join as a member of the Friends, please visit www.hmblibraryfriends.org. Coming up next, Becca sits down with an accomplished Bay Area boxer who is training the next big champion.
When most people think of getting into shape, they think of jogging, weightlifting, but boxing is definitely one of the coolest sports. You stay fit, you're confident. No one knows it better than our guest, Eddie Croft. He has won the state kickboxing, a 3-time Golden Glove, a 3-time title challenger, and a Continental Americas, as well as more. After his injury, he became a trainer and decided to focus on helping the people rather than giving up. Welcome, Eddie. So my first question is, what made you start boxing?
Well, long story, but to make it short, I started martial arts when I was 5 years old in 1974, and I wanted to become a kickboxer. You know, in martial arts, there's only a few ways to make money, and that was the avenue that I wanted to pursue. But I knew that in order to become a good kickboxer that I needed to improve my boxing skill. So I started boxing. I fought in the Golden Gloves in 1988 in San Francisco, and I won.
Yeah.
And so,
Congratulations.
thank you. And at that point, I decided that boxing would be a better way for me to make a living.
Nice. So are there any professionals that you train?
I'm currently training 2 professionals. Ricardo Pinell, who just starting out at his pro career. He's 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 4 wins by knockout, and I train a world champion, Melissa McMorrow, who actually is also she works up at Solar City right up the hill here, but she's the World Boxing Organization flyweight world champion. So we do a lot of traveling with her and kind of fight internationally. It's been a great thing.
So where's your favorite place to go boxing with her?
I'm a big fan of New York City. So we fought in New York City 3 times, but I mean we've been to Germany, East Germany, and Mexico, Guadalajara. So I mean, really any place that we get a chance to compete and get out there is great, but probably one of my favorite cities that I've been to is New York City.
Nice. Okay, so my final question. You said you boxed before and you enjoyed it. What was your experience in the ring?
Well, when you say experience, what do you mean by that exactly? Like, well, here, let me try to, describe it. When you box professionally, it kind of, it takes on a life of its own. It has to be your life, because the thing about boxing is it is a sport, but it's not really a sport. Right, because you play sports. You play football, you play basketball, you don't play boxing. Right? If you play boxing, then you get hurt, and it's a sport where like death is something that could it's a potential. It could potentially happen. You could die. People die every year in boxing. So you have to really prepare yourself, not only physically but mentally. You have to prepare yourself to get out there and perform at your peak level. Otherwise, it could be your last time here.
That's crazy. So, have you had any stories like that where you trained someone and they just died?
Luckily for me, no, that has not happened to me. I've never, trained anyone that has, gotten seriously injured. I got an injury preparing for the first time I fought for a world championship. I was preparing to fight, and I got some nerve damage. They're not really sure if it's nerve damage or neurological damage, but it's an injury to my left eye. So my eyes don't work together the way that they used to. But luckily for me at this stage, as far as the people that I've trained and coached, or even the people that come to the gym just as exercise, have not been injured that way.
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
Thank you so much. Our time is up.
Thank you.
But we sent our field camera to B Street Boxing, and we got to take a look at what you do, which makes it even more cooler than ever. Let's take a look. So, B Street Boxing, your place, your home. Tell me more about it. Tell me when you opened it. Tell me a little bit of history about it.
I opened on November 1st, 2008. So just barely over 5 years now. And when I was fighting, I used to just kind of drive around downtown San Mateo. It was like, at the time, it was real barren before the movie theater went in, and a lot of businesses were kind of shipping out of downtown San Mateo. And I always felt that a gym would work well there. But more than anything else, boxing a lot of times gets a bad rap. People don't really understand. Well, when they look at it from an outsider's perspective, it just looks like two guys hitting each other, and whoever's stronger and is going to win. And there's a lot more that goes into it. But along with that, I also feel that boxing can teach you a lot of life lessons. So the harder you work, the more you'll get out of it. And I feel that I wanted to be able to teach men, women, and especially kids that if they work hard enough, they can achieve anything that they set their minds to. So that's really the mission of the gym.
Well, Eddie, thank you so much for coming down to the studio. I loved having you, and the crew loved having you as well.
Thanks for having me.
And if you're ready to get into the ring, sign up now. Learn more at bstreetboxing.com. Up next is James talking about our local residents. And they are some of the cutest, furriest animals ever. They are cats.
Hello, San Francisco Bay Area. This is What's Up San Mateo, the local talk show where we discuss current events from around the Bay Area and suggest how audience members can participate in the improvement of our community. I'm James Hargrave, and today on the show, we are going to be discussing cat rescue and the amazing volunteers who work tirelessly every day to manage the feral feline population along the San Francisco Peninsula. Today on the show, we have Casey Wright, a freelance operative who works with several local cat rescue organizations to accomplish this daunting mission. Hi, Casey. Glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Well, let's get right into the questions.
Sure.
Can you give us a brief summary of your experience with cat rescue organizations and any particular highlights of your years in cat rescue?
Sure. So I originally started doing this with Peninsula Humane Society. They have a spay and neuter clinic. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, they only accept 5 feral cats a day, 4 days a week. Mm-hmm. And that was quite limiting. And they restrict each individual to only 2 cats per day. But some of these colonies that we were seeing in these backyards, maybe a grandmother started feeding a cat, and the next thing you know, that cat has babies, her cats have babies, and the next thing you know, there's 20 to 30 cats in one backyard. Wow. So luckily around the same time, a veterinarian named Dr. Rediger started up 9 Lives Foundation. And so she will take an unlimited number of feral cats on any given day. I think the maximum that I brought her once was 17 in one day.
Wow, that's a lot of cats.
Yes, and not a single one had been spayed or neutered. Oh, these were from another one of the situations where a grandmother, an elderly woman started feeding cats. We're also assisted by San Mateo County through their voucher program. So people pay licensing fees when they get when they register their cats, their pet cats with San Mateo County, and then they fund some of our spay-neuter by the use of a voucher system. So those are some of the groups we work with. So in terms of highlights, in addition to catching 17 cats in one night, another highlight of my cat rescue career was a 10-year-old cat that no one else had been able to catch. They had been trying for 10 years, and I finally got her. And it turned out that she had just, within a few days before, gotten pregnant again. So she would have had another litter of kittens at the age of 10. Oh, wow. So at least we got her.
Well, it seems like there are definitely a lot of cats out there. That raises another question. What are some of the causes that led to the current feline population size along the San Francisco Peninsula?
Well, the biggest one is that we have what they call a Mediterranean climate, and so we don't have harsh summers or harsh winters to really kill off any of the cats. So most of them survive as long as they're in relatively good health. We also have a lot of very well-meaning people who feed the cats without finding out if they are spayed and neutered. And so that between the wonderful climate and this, the people want to feed them, then you end up with a very large cat population.
Oh, wow, definitely. Well, this brings up another interesting question. What are some of the current methods volunteers use to effectively, limit the feral cat population and efficiently TNR, or trap, neuter, release feral cats?
Right. So yeah, trap, neuter, return, it's a wonderful concept because we can leave the cats out there that are healthy and let the colonies reduce by attrition. So if any folks in San Mateo, the city of San Mateo, have noticed all the cats along the bay front, that is a homeless cat network project called Project Bay Cat. And those cats are all spayed and neutered, and they can live out their lives, and we manage it. We manage these colonies very closely. Some of the colonies even have cameras to record if there are new cats coming into the colony so that we can get them fixed. If the cats are social, then we place them in homes. We are also, in any of the places where we trap, we are also removing any kittens or cats that are either social or can be socialized. So young kittens that can be socialized, we try to remove them from the colony and get them adopted out. Otherwise, it's just one of the biggest methods that we use is teamwork to get these colonies under control, because one person, when you have 17 cats, one person just can't do it alone.
Well, is there any, it seems like it takes a lot of manpower. Is there any way community members can contribute to the rescue cause and assist cat rescue volunteers?
Yeah, there are several ways, and one way is to help us by doing some of the trapping themselves, especially when the cats are in their backyard. Other ways, there are donation bins at some of the pet food stores that people can offer cat food so that we can continue to feed these colonies. Basically, anything that their cat doesn't want, they can contribute it to us, and we will make sure that it goes to help this this cause of getting these cats. We try to get as many as possible off the streets, but the ones that are on the streets, we want them to be spayed and neutered, so that the population does not keep growing.
Okay. Well, I know from my own experience, my family fosters. So, what is the Foster Family Network, and what benefits does it offer for cat rescue volunteers, foster families, and feral cats? So
it's awesome when we can get help, especially with socializing some of these under-socialized kittens, and because they have to get used to people. And it doesn't do them, some of them can become very comfortable with one person, but then when it comes time to put them in a new home, they're completely unsocial again. So the Foster Family Network, we are able to rotate kittens through various foster homes, and it gives them a lot of social experience, and then they do wonderfully in a new home. And so fostering is really important to us, especially for people who travel, for example. They can volunteer and socialize kittens when they're at home, and then when they're traveling, they can just return them to us, and we'll take care of them. So it works well for people with kind of erratic schedules. But it's very valuable to us.
Well, I believe that's all we have time for today. Thank you for being on the show with us today, Casey.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm very glad you're here. Yeah. Well, this has been a very interesting discussion, and I hope some community members will give a helping hand to volunteers in the future. For any individuals interested in feral cat care or trapping techniques, look for Casey's book, Feral Cat Rescue, Tips and Caregivers in your local bookstore. Thank you all for tuning in to What's Up San Mateo, and I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm James Hargrave, and as always, thanks for watching.